Happy, glorious Tuesday, everyone. Boy, things are going great around here. It's day 2 of our amazing Halloween extravaganza. So before we get to the news, the next episode of our favorite sitcom awaits.
Tonight's episode, Inside the Writer's Doom.
So I was thinking, the show's just not as funny as it used to be. We could use more laughs. Anyone else agree?
I think the show is as funny as it's ever been. If anything, there's too many laughs. All right, free fruit.
Hey, Fox and Friends called. Apparently someone murdered Brian Kilmeade and hung his body upside down in Ainsley Earhart's office. They want you to fill in for him.
Applauding death. I always love a happy ending. So have you noticed how great things are going in America? Another massive caravan coming our way, surging past Mexican forces and surging past Mexico in general. You know, I feel bad for Mexico. Imagine thousands of people apparently escaping a mortal hell in total desperation, and they enter your country and say, no thanks, we'll keep going. Mexico must feel like everyone's first wife. It is rude. It's like asking the maitre d' of a restaurant directions to another restaurant. It's like going up to the hostess at Applebee's and saying, excuse me, do you know a place nearby that offers mainstream American dishes served in a casual dining atmosphere that offers pasta, burgers, and delicious riblet appetizers? And no, not you. That's Mexico. Everyone walking right on through like it's the hosiery department at Macy's. You always had to go through there to get to someplace good. It's more demoralizing than not getting a rose on The Bachelor. Just ask Kat. But that's not the only problem. We don't just have inflation, but apparently hyperinflation. I asked Larry Kudlow what hyperinflation was, and he said, Greg, it's inflation, but hyper. Then he punched me in the face. Because that's how he rolls. Now, we've covered the rising crime rates already. The supply chain crisis continues to make lives hell. And then there's this.
Los Angeles and what am I doing here?
Mr. President.
By the way, there's 2 famous guys in this audience here. Don't pay a cent. The former general, I keep calling him general, but visit vaccines.gov, vaccines.gov, or text your zip code to 438829. And I don't know, I guess it's 2 weeks or a week. I'm losing track of time.
So are we. That instills confidence. But it raises the question, how can you be lost in thought when you have no thoughts? Yeah, we're in worse shape than Stelter after the holidays. Did you know his astrological sign is eggnog? So what are our leaders focusing on right now? Terrible.
Cold-blooded.
Well, on this last Friday, the White House released a 42-page plan to solve these very problems. I kid. It's to promote gender equality, because that's the urgent problem. And no, not just at home, but abroad. Yeah, abroad. That's funny. A sexist would say. Never mind the murder rate, the open border, hyperinflation here at home. There's a hostess at the IHOP in Qatar making 3 cents less than her male counterpart. Thankfully, we've already been telling the Taliban to hire more women. But apparently this is to remedy an unequal playing field, one that has been worsened by COVID, which is such BS, the smell of it should be seeping out of your TV. So you want to talk COVID inequality? The global death rate for men from COVID is about 50% higher than women. If that statistic were reversed, there would be marches, and they'd be the kind of marches that the media would say, don't spread COVID. But 50%, that means for every 10 women, there are 15 dead men who croak. In America, 65,000 more men have died than women. I bet that's the first time you heard that, and probably the last. Because unlike me, gender equality only goes one way. If you're a woman who disagrees, try registering for the draft. Never mind industrial accidents and fatalities, the ravages of war, or the obvious lifespan gaps. Men often get the shorter stick in life, but we aren't complaining. Women, however, need a national strategy to fix something that does not rate compared to the issues that both genders face right now under Joe. It's like a doctor giving a patient with diabetes a treatment for his dandruff. But it's the same old shtick. As they ignore issues that affect all of us, crime, economy, education, flatulence on planes, cat. They chase the easy identity-driven stuff, gender equity, racial diversity, stuff that helps no one but the diversity consultants. It's easy to do, and like Mayor Pete, you don't have to do any work. Telling the world we're all sexist and bigots is free. It's the only plan the Democrats have that actually does cost nothing. Biden and Kamala Harris, you remember her. She's the crazy lady that cackles like a Halloween witch in a haunted house. So they both wrote a letter together. She held the pen, claiming that rates of gender-based violence have risen significantly. Really, is that so? Well, maybe it's so because all violence has risen significantly. See, they only admit that the violence has gone up if they can cherry-pick the victims. But gender-based violence went up along with all kinds of violence. A rising tide of blood lifts all corpses. But at least we've heard from Kamala. She disappears more often than Jesse Waters when the dinner bill comes. Yeah, he's cheap. Meanwhile, the turmoil we see, crime, the overdoses, the mental illnesses, the sexual assault in Loudoun County, they pretend none of this exists. But fake problems they embrace. Why is that? Let's ask our angry white male.
Wow, I had no idea men were in such trouble. We're graduating less, earning less money, and dying at faster rates. I guess on the positive side, now we have a good excuse for all that heavy drinking we're famous for. Cheers, guys.
That makes sense. So as our leaders virtue signal and solve nothing, our country rambles down an uncertain path. Like My Little Pony collection, it's weird and a little scary. We have leaders who deny what we see with our own eyes. And if we don't join their phantom crusades, we are called racist or sexist, or worse, Trump supporters. They've expanded the meaning of white supremacists so much that it even includes black moderates. And they'll film you in the bathroom if you disagree, and not for the normal reasons people get filmed in bathrooms. Fact is, we are in tough times, but the only jobs Democrats create are in diversity and inclusion departments that divide and exclude. Weird. It would be nice to stop them, but they're all flying to another global warming summit in Scotland. Let's welcome tonight's guests. He's so conservative, his kids' names are Life, Liberty, and Levin. American Conservative Union Chairman Matt Schlapp. You'll believe his comedy is subjective once you've been subjected to his comedy. Writer and comedian Joe DeVito. She carves up pumpkins like they're ex-boyfriends. Fox News contributor Kat Timpf. And Paul Bunyan is dressing up as him for Halloween. My massive sidekick and the NWA World Television Champion Tyrus. So, Kat, you are still a woman, right?
Yes.
Okay, so as a male talk show host talking about this topic, I read the regulations, and it says I should go to you first.
Yes.
So, are you obsessed with gender inequality?
Well, no, but you missed something.
Yes.
Like, women live longer, but they also age faster, like in the eyes of society.
Right.
Like, as you know, Greg, it is my birthday week.
Yes, that's
right?
true.
It's my, thank you. See, I was born. Okay. It's my birthday week, and so I'm turning 33. A 33-year-old, it's not the same as a man turning 33. Like a 33-year-old man is like a young guy with his life ahead of him. Turning 33 as a woman, people are already saying stuff to me like, you look great for your age. That's not a compliment.
It isn't.
No, because it's just saying you look a lot less close to death than you actually are. Just tell me I look like it's a lot nicer. So there's worse things about being a woman, but I don't hate men.
Thank God for that. That's a low bar. Matt, welcome to the show. Do you think this is a distraction on purpose, or do they really believe this is the relevant, urgent matter that they have to go after right now?
I give up. I don't know what they're thinking. I don't know. You see all these basic problems that people have.
Yeah.
And, they've been really helping women around the globe. I think of all those Afghan women. They've really been helped out recently. That was a real good one. And I guess they're going to create kind of like an even playing field amongst the genders, which they don't even believe in.
Right.
By, making sure that men keep dying of COVID by keeping Tony Fauci in charge of the whole thing.
There you go. Yeah, by the way, I didn't even know those stats until I looked them up this morning. And I mean, I thought it would be okay, slightly, maybe there's a 3%, 50% globally. That seems to me, Joe, like a pretty big story that someone like you in a tasteful beard would be interested in.
Yes. Well, I think a lot of it is because men don't complain about these things. And personally, I'm trying to change that by complaining constantly about everything.
Yes.
Yeah, it's scary to see that this is the kind of distraction. I mean, of course, they're creating a distraction from the buffoons they have in charge. I mean, look at Pete Buttigieg didn't go to work for 2 months. He was home breastfeeding, and no one even noticed he was gone.
I know, that's true. Chest feeding.
Yes, well, and I look at that, that shows you that he, not only is he not up to the job, his job might not be that important.
Right.
I know if my super puts up a sign that says back in 5 minutes, the entire apartment building collapses.
Yes.
He's a guy who knows how to do things. These are people who don't know how to do anything. And somehow they're in charge. It's really, really scary.
Well, it's scary because of the 10% of the day that they're supposed to be working, even just working 10% is destructive. So I'd just rather have them do nothing. But unfortunately, they're flying to Scotland for climate change. They're sending so many people to Scotland. It's amazing, the numbers. And I don't know, to get out of the United States, I guess. Tyrus, where do you sit on this particular issue?
I don't know, I still sit where the hell I want to. I'm glad that you brought this stat up because men, we have to start being more equal. No, I'm serious because these deaths are exactly the reason why. The next time you hear a sound downstairs, honey, your turn. Men have been convinced. Who runs into the fire to save the baby? The guy. Someone breaks in the house, the guy. Hey, COVID's out there, but I really want my ice cream. Who goes to get it? The guy. So, of course, we get killed more because we get talked into stuff. And then if we question it, they're like, really? I thought you were a real man. And we fall for this all the time. So I would just like to say, fellas, let's start sharing the wealth. Next time we hear a loud noise in my house, I'll be like, you're up, dear. And the other thing, in Buttigieg's defense, it takes about 2 months to get a breast pump on a man to get milk out. It's a long process. So have some decorum and respect.
That's true. I think you owe him an apology.
That's going to take a while.
Well,
yes.
I think Tyrus makes a good point. That's why there's no female version of when people say man up.
Yeah, no, because they're too smart.
Yeah.
Women are too smart. Let the big dummy do it.
I don't do anything.
Exactly.
Yeah.
I don't do anything. I don't even clean.
I feel that we are in danger of turning this into an encounter group, right?
No, we've tried interventions with you. It doesn't work.
That is true.
Hey, Sean Hannity here. Hey, click here to subscribe to Fox News YouTube page and catch our hottest interviews and most compelling analysis. You will not get it anywhere else.